What's the maximum mortgage lenders are willing to lend? That's the question that I often get. And in this video, what I thought we will tackle this by me running a comparison between 45 different lenders and coming up with scenarios based on a single person looking to buy with maybe 10% deposit, or a couple looking to buy with 15% deposit. Maybe they've got a kid, maybe expenses, credit cards, taking into account bonuses, and looking at maybe 25 years or 35 years, looking what the difference looks like. So this is a comparison video, looking at all the different lenders and seeing how things get affected. So I'll catch you on the video. I hope you enjoy it. Let me know what you guys think. Okay, well, before we do this, all of this stuff, like everything that I do on my channel, is for information purposes only. This is so important, guys. Just because I'm saying XY lender and I'm trying to name the lenders, I've got a bit of criticism last time to say, why don't you name lenders? It's really for compliance reasons, because I don't want people thinking just because that I say they're up top for something that they're necessarily the right lender. They're certainly not. And this is just for information, just for us to work out where the market is really and give you some pointers in a real life environment rather than sitting there giving you some hypothetical figures. So it's for information purposes only. It's not advice. Seek professional advice in all cases. Right. So first of all, I ran these figures yesterday. So on a Sunday, we were working here and trying to work out these tables for you. So they're correct as of yesterday. Now, what I will do is, this is for purchases, okay, of property in the new year. Your particular circumstances will be different and the results will be different based on your circumstances. That's, it could be as small as, your pension contributions could be different. You might have, other income coming in, how the income is, derived, if it's additional income, bonuses, benefits income, student loans, all of those things will have an impact. So, for the sake of the first example, I've looked at a first a person is a man. He's employed on a basic salary of £45,000 with an annual bonus of £3,000. Previously, he didn't get that bonus, so he's been in his job for 1 year. He's a first-time buyer looking to purchase a terraced house in northeast of England. Purchase price £225,000 with a 10% deposit. The council tax is £150 a month. Buildings insurance £30 a month. Pays around £175 into a pension. The mortgage is required for a repayment mortgage. Now, all of this stuff is on an article that I've put in, and I'll put the link below in the description. So this is all in an article on our website. So go and check this stuff out, and it will give you the breakdown. So, as you can see here, there's a chart here. So maximum mortgage, first place lender, second place lender, third place lender. So on a 2-year fixed on a 90% loan to value for someone who was on £45,000 with all the other bits and pieces, Accord Mortgages is coming up. Now, Accord Mortgages you wouldn't have heard of because you don't have access to them. Brokers have access to them, but they're part of Yorkshire Building Society. I would say they're a high street lender. They're a pretty decent lender, and with decent rates. And they come out actually on 210,132. Second lender is TSB. You would have heard of them. 210,130. Not that much in it, if you think. £2. Third lender is Halifax. You would have heard of them. 203,970. Okay, so that's on a 25-year mortgage. But what happens if you extend the term? And I'm seeing more and more term extensions now. Yes, you make it affordable, but remember, you are paying that for a longer period of time. The goal should be to pay off your residential mortgage, not to prolong it. But sometimes people choose to go for a 35-year term. 35-year term, a specialist lender pops up, Vida Home Loans. Now, we'll get into that because I've got a few points to say about that. So that's 213,150, followed by Accord at 210,132, and followed by TSB 210,130. Now, you've got to take this in mind, guys, and this is important. For the additional £3,000 that you receive potentially from Vida, that rate is often going to be a lot higher than the high street lender, than the Accord, than the TSB. So sometimes you've got to look at it and go, is it worth it? And in most cases, it's probably not, unless you've got certain credit issues or certain self-employment requirements, which this person doesn't, because we're going to assume that they've got a good credit profile. I suppose I'll add that, and also that they're employed. So I would be very, very cautious around going to the top lender, because one, I'm a bit nervous around these specialist lenders. Okay, the specialist lenders. How do I say this without getting myself in trouble? Their affordability calculators are not as as comprehensive as the mainstream lenders. So there is a lot of room where things can change during the application with a specialist lender. That's my experience, personal experience. Okay, so any of these lenders that are specialist, they'll often come with a specialist rate. Okay, although we would have calculated that in our affordability calculator, but yeah, I'm not confident with specialist lenders when it comes to maximum affordability. Often, right? There are some exceptions to the rule. There are some specialist lenders that actually have got geared products for maximum affordability. Right. Then we look at the 5-year fixed, okay? 5-year fixed, 25 years. Again, Accord comes up top. Not much difference in it, guys, if you look at it. Accord, TSB, Aldermore, another specialist bank out there. Not that much in it. And then you got to look at the 5 years. Again, another specialist lender. Now, all of these specialist lenders, a lot of them are exclusive to brokers. So brokers have got access to it, like Niche Advice. We've got access to these lenders. So look, if you look at the 5-year fixed, 215 specialist lender, 213 Vida specialist lender, and then 210 132. So again, you've got to look at the viability of that mortgage and what rate that will come on. Now, I didn't want to start pointing out rates and stuff because I just don't want to be seen as me sort of saying go to this lender, because it changes massively. Okay. He was looking to borrow 202,500, which is 90%. So, it gives you an idea of where the market is, really. So, and I've broken some other bits and pieces down. Then let's look at a couple this time. So the couple is they've got 2 children. Okay. Applicant 1 is on £48,000. Applicant 2 is on £25,000. They get child benefit of £2,075. They want to buy a property in London, a flat in London, £300,000. And that's important, a flat and a house, because a flat, lenders will often take into account rent, service charges and stuff. The council tax is £175. The ground rent is £150. Again, £300 pension contribution between them. They have a car finance of £200 as well, with £15,000 balance, £500 outstanding on credit cards, which will remain in place. Pretty average couple. So again, we'll look at this on a 2-year fix, 25 years. Accord again comes up 348,305. Cambridge 327,770 and HSBC 285. Big difference between the first lender and the third lender. And remember, these are the top ones based on our system calculation of 27. We've got a system called Mortgage Broker Tools that does this. So it's vital. That's a massive difference on that one. On a 35-year fixed, 35-year term, 375,375, 331,500, and nationwide 328,800. Again, big difference in that between number 1 and number 3 lenders. Okay, well done to Accord. They seem to be topping everything at the moment. Again, 348,305 on a 25-year. Oh, actually, I've done a typo. That's 35-year. And then 333, Cambridge 327. So you'll see what the figures look like. Now, let's put all this aside. There are some exceptions to the rules. So, for example, someone like Accord, they've actually give you enhanced calculators because of the earnings. So they've all got, different lenders have got earning thresholds. Okay, so some lenders will say if a combined income is 50k or 60k or 70k, we'll give you enhanced 5 times, 5.5 times. So there is some enhancements to that. Now other lenders, remember on this scenario, I've based it on an 85% on the second scenario, so 15% deposit. Some lenders will give you enhanced affordability if you've got, for example, one person owning over £100,000, or your combined income over £100,000, or you've got 25% or more deposit. So they've all got various rules. Other lenders will do it if it's a like-for-like mortgage. So if you're doing a remortgage, for example, you've got a 200k mortgage and you just want to get a better rate, they'll give you an enhanced affordability check on that. But for the sake of these comparisons, so one of them, it was the single person with 10% deposit, the other one couple with 15% deposit, I would have taken all of those into account. How their income is derived, the pension contributions, what debts they've got, if they've got any other outstanding debt, is it going to be cleared or not? So it gives you a good idea. So big difference, okay? So you would have probably not ever heard of Accord, right? But like I said, there's a big difference between them. And look, who's not featured in this? Okay, if you think all the lending, majority of the lending in the UK is done by the top 5 or 6 lenders. Okay, so the top lenders generally for lending purposes is Santander, Halifax, NatWest, Nationwide, HSBC. Who have I missed? NatWest, Santander, HSBC. I must have missed someone. HSBC, NatWest, Halifax. I don't know. It's one. There's 5 or 6. But if you notice, a lot of them are not in there. Maybe once HSBC is in there and Halifax is in there, out of the big boys. Okay, the rest of them are specialist lenders, right? So it gives you an idea of where the market is, just because you can't see some of these lenders on the comparison sites. And this brings me to a point. Brokers have got access to these specialist lenders, and they're not necessarily specialists, but a lot of the lenders have got access. So some of these lenders are intermediary only. So it's no point just looking at your bank and what your bank's looking to offer. You could be with XYZ Bank, but they're not featured anywhere here. And from an affordability perspective, they're not be there. Oh, Barclays was the other lender. And also, you've got to take into account, just because they've got a really good rate, it doesn't necessarily mean you can borrow what you can borrow. So there's a lot of movement in rates right now. We're seeing
the content of this video does not constitute giving advice. It's purely for information purposes. All cases should be discussed with a professional mortgage broker. As a mortgage is secured against your home or property, it could be repossessed if you do not keep up mortgage payments. Niche advice is authorized and regulated by the Financial Conduct Authority.